Classic Preview Show. And welcome to the 2015 Fountain Hill Stickball Classic Preview Show. I'm your host, Nick Johnson, and with me today, 6-time Classic veteran, 2-time Classic champion, the commissioner of the Fountain Hill Stickball League, Mr. Ryan Anderson. Ryan, how are you?
I'm great, Nick. Thanks, Nick, for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here. I want to thank all the people out there watching tonight on the live YouTube stream. It's a pleasure to have you. Next Saturday, August 1st, is the 7th annual Fountain Hill Stickball Classic. I know you're all looking forward to it just as much as we are.
Oh, yeah.
We got an action-packed program for you tonight. A bunch of guests from multiple teams in this tournament, the 17-team tournament, which starts at 9 a.m. next Saturday. Games go on all day at the Fountain Hill Playground at Holy Child Park, and there's only going to be one team left at the end of the night. Like I said, a lot of guests on the night. We also have a very special bracketologist. We're going to shoot it on over him right now, Zach Lagola.
Hey everyone, this is a quick preview of our bracket. We're going to be breaking down the bracket region by region tonight, shooting it live as we release it, and we're going to go back over to Nick and Ryan.
Wow, all right, Zach. I don't know if I could have done that any better. But anyways, obviously you guys see we are joined with the guy who does it all behind the scenes. He's been running this tournament for coming up on 7 years, Mr. Andrew Redding. Andrew, how are you?
Good, thanks for having me, guys.
Well, Andrew, like I said, everybody's excited about it. But could you just tell us what exactly is the Fountain Hill Stickball Classic?
It's by far my favorite day of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure everyone in the Fountain Hill community could agree with that. It's a big community event. Started out as an event to support my 3 cousins after the loss of their parents, and it's grown year after year with all support for the Fountain Hill.
Yeah, and there's a lot of little things that go on behind the scenes with the Fountain Hill Stickball Classic, whether it's setting up the fence, doing the tournament bracket, getting fundraisers. Why don't you talk a little bit about that and really the work that goes into it? I mean, I know you work full-time, so tell us, what's your secret, Andrew?
After relying on a lot of people, family and friends, I have a good supporting cast. I can't do it without, everyone in the Fountain Hill community. One thing I've learned throughout this entire 7 years of running this is everyone's willing to help. You ask anyone in the Fountain Hill community, and they'll step up to the bat.
Absolutely, and that's why we all love it, and we all come out that one Saturday per year. Andrew, you're a player in the tournament, but I got to ask, you're a member of the Hillers, but if you weren't playing, who would you pick to win this tournament this year? There's a lot of great teams.
And I can't pick the Hillers?
Can't pick the Hillers. That's correct, because you're on the team.
I would like to pick them.
Yeah. Besides that.
As running it, I'd like to see someone new win it.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with a team, I want to call them the Future.
Wow, Future.
You'll see them on the bracket as H-God, but
yeah.
They had a core team that won the Buddha Cup, so I think they could ride that momentum and take the classic.
They pulled off that upset last year against the Maroons, which was a huge upset in the classic. So who knows?
They got a lot of young talent, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And just one more question. I know you've been running the Classic for 7 long years. I mean, could you imagine when you first started back in 2009 that it would still be running to this day?
It kind of just kicked off as pickup stickball in the one summer 2009, and we decided, we're Fountain Hill, we're going to do an event different than a 5K or a golf fundraiser. We're going to have a stickball tournament, and for it to grow into what it has, it's been amazing.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us. We're going to shoot it on over to Zach, who's going to be giving you all the regions. There's 4 regions. Help me out again, Nick.
As Zach mentioned earlier, there are 4 regions of the bracket. This year, we broke them up into the 4 main streets in the Fountain Hill. So we have Arabia Street, Jeter, Broadway, and Delaware.
4 regions.
So we're going to shoot it over to Zach. He's going to reveal the #1 seed in the tournament, which is the Jeter region. Zach?
All right, so here we go. We're taking a close look at the Jeter region, and we're giving the #1 overall seed this year to the Salisbury Falcons. For the defending champions, they got it all. So after this, we got the 17 and 16 seeds, the Magoos versus the Dream Team, kicking the tournament off. The Dream Team is led by Brooke Rao. I'm going to assume maybe some of that Bethlehem Catholic softball team that just won a state championship. So we're going to go Dream Team moving on to face the Falcons. Down below, we got the D'Angelos versus the Fountain Hill Fancies. The D'Angelos are led by Bobby Spurk, and he's got a couple ex-Bethlehem Catholic baseball players from a while back. The Fountain Hill Fancies, we all know them. They're the pink guys. The question with them is, can they hold off on the extracurricular activities until at least 12 o'clock to win this game? I'm going, they're going to win, and they're going to face the Salisbury Falcons, and the Falcons are winning that one. We're going to go back to Ryan and Nick.
All right, as you can see, our new feature, Zach Heck of a job. As you can see now, we are joined by our second guest. He's the leader of the 2014 Classic Champion team, the Salisbury Falcons, Mr. Brad Vangeli. Brad, how are you?
Great, thanks for having me on the show, Nick.
Absolutely.
Brad, it's great to have you. I got to ask you, you are the favorites going into it. How does it feel now having that one championship under your belt? There's only been one team ever in the history of this tournament to go back-to-back. So how's it feel going in as champ?
It honestly feels great. After last year and the year before, we fell in the semifinals to the Hillers and Buddhas back-to-back years, and we had them down to the last inning, and we blew some leads. So, we were just short of the championship, and our goal last year was honestly to get to the championship finally, and we actually came out on top, so it was pretty nice. So this year, we feel a little bit more relaxed than last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I want to get this out of the air right away. I want you to correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of sources have been telling me that Josh Knight is likely to pair up with the Salisbury Falcons this year. I heard he was in cahoots with multiple teams, Slime City. You're one of them. Now, will he be playing for you guys this year?
Josh Knight will not be a part of the Salisbury Falcons this year. He did contact me about it. He said his team will boot us there. Not in it this year, but we told him we have our core group back the same exact time as last year. We're going to stick with it this year again.
Well, that's breaking news, folks. So who knows where Josh will end up on next Saturday. But, Brad, I got to ask you, you have a lot of accolades in the baseball realm, both in high school and are you playing college ball anywhere?
I will be trying out this year. I'm in the Blue Mountain League.
Awesome. So he won a district title at Salisbury. A lot of success there, all Colonial League. How does the stickball compare to the baseball? What are the similarities and differences?
I think the biggest thing, stickball and baseball, you see in stickball, you have to, you got to be patient at the plate. You see great hitters in the stickball league get out because they're impatient. And, you can take all day until you get your pitch. And when you swing at that bad pitch and you pop it up, I think that's the main thing that really translates, that people don't think about a lot coming into stickball.
All right, Brad, now I want to ask you one more question. Now, obviously, Salisbury isn't exactly the lovable underdogs like they have been for the first 6 years of the tournament. A lot of people are coming for you, whether it's the Hillers, the Slime City, whoever. So there's a lot more pressure on you guys. How do you guys think you will respond this year? As Ryan mentioned, you have the opportunity to two-peat.
I think as a team, we're still pretty confident. Like I said, we have the exact same team as last year. We were a little worried. Nicky Petro, he did have an arm injury this year from baseball, and we were going to throw him at first base. We didn't want to risk his baseball career or anything, but he says he's good to go, so he'll be back at third base, which really
big news. Big news.
That sorts everything out for us in the field, which is huge for us. So same exact thing as last year. We're pretty confident.
Well, Zach did pick you guys to move on from your region, so I wish you much luck. And Zach's about to announce another region. Let's shoot it on over to Zach.
Thank you, Ryan. So here we are at the Broadway region. We're going to go to the top matchup first with Quick Nick and the Funky Bunch, which I got to say is one of the best names in the tournament, facing off against BF Browns, which is led by Bernie Brown. Quick Nick and the Funky Bunch are the Lynn Street Gangs, is the old title which they used to go by. As much as I want to advance Quick Nick and the Funky Bunch for the name, I'm going with the BF Browns. They're younger guys, assumingly more athletic, so we're going to go with them. In the bottom bracket, we got Trap Squad versus Slime City. Trap Squad is led by Anthony Trapani. He's also a younger guy. I think with baseball background out of Bethlehem Catholic. Versus Slime City, who, again, we all know who Slime City are. Check the bat. Everybody knows the history. I'm going to pick Slime City to move on that one. So then we got BF Browns versus Slime City, and we're going to Slime City because I want to see them later on in the tournament. Back to you, Nick and Ryan.
Thanks, Zach. And as you can see, we are now joined by the 6-year Classic veteran, one-time FHSL champion with the Toon Squad, and the captain of the always competitive Slime City, Mr. Joe Brooks.
What's going on, guys? Always a pleasure.
Joe, thanks for coming on. It's a pleasure to have you. Zach's given some great analysis over there, picking you to move on. Tell us about Slime City. What kind of talent do you guys have?
Well, more than half of our teams won a PSAC championship with ESU a few years ago. We have our core infield, our second baseman, shortstop, third baseman, returning. And we lost our first baseman.
Right.
So we got an interesting phone call from Josh Knight.
Oh no! Again.
Oh no!
Another Josh Knight thing.
We needed a first baseman, motivator, a winner.
Get out of here! Breaking news, folks!
Josh Knight is playing for Slime.
Wow!
Under contract.
You hit that from everybody, folks.
I did not know that.
Breaking news, live on this show.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
Wow.
Kid's a winner.
That is amazing.
Can't say no to that.
So now, you guys obviously have had talent early on, but you lost probably one of the best players in tournament history, Matt Botnick.
Yeah.
So he's not playing for you anymore, right? Well, Josh can fill that role and be a great leader and help you guys to reach that next level that you've been trying to for 6 years now.
It's been a long time.
What do you think, Nick? What do you think about the Josh Knight edition?
Whoa, holy smokes, I need some oxygen over here. Anyway, I mean, Josh Knight coming in for you guys, playing first. He will lock that down. Anything near him, he'll catch it. He's a slap hitter. He can hit the ball. We've actually seen he won the home run derby this year for the FHSL, so we know he can also hit home runs. I mean, this is a huge get for you guys. I think if Zach already filled out his bracket, I think he might need to rethink it right now because, wow, that's breaking news, folks.
Listen, Brooks, thanks for coming on. I got one more important question for you. You're not, you know us through Bethlehem Catholic High School. You're not necessarily from Fountain Hill. But what does the Fountain Hill Stickball Classic mean to you?
Well, it's one of my favorite days of the summer, one of my favorite days of the year. I get to see some of my old roommates. They come down every year. We have a good time. It's a blast. And we just like being competitive. And
everybody wants to win.
Anything less than a championship is a failure this year.
All right, you heard it here
And
first.
Joe, I don't want to kick you off just yet. I do have one more question, and I'm going to kind of pick at you here. Now, I know you guys have been so close to getting that championship for the past 6 years. You guys have been in the finals, the semifinals, the quarterfinals, whatever. You have the talent, like you said. You have players that have had a piece of the ESU championship or whatever. So what's really been holding you guys back these past few years? I mean, you gotta help me out because it's almost embarrassing
because they don't have Botnick. He's their best player,
and you can't put it all in one player. I mean, Joe,
It's a
you're
team
the
sport.
captain.
He's pretty dang good.
Botnick, probably one of the best stickball players you could ever find, but it's a team sport. It would be great to have him up because, I mean, 9 times out of 10 he hits a home run. But
That's true.
for us to get over that hump, I think, I don't know, we need some of that luck you Hillers have had the last couple of years.
Well, who knows?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You guys got a little lucky the last couple of years. We won't let that get.
Lucky? What do you mean we got lucky?
I don't know. Like, we're not getting into this.
Yeah, we'll save it for next week. But Joe, thanks for coming on the show.
I got something.
You got one more?
Check the bat. That's all I got to say.
Check the bat.
And the stickball community knows what I'm talking about. The Slime City, who knows about them? They're like the Patriots of the tournament.
Hey, we don't have to cheat to win.
All right.
All right, Joe. Well, thanks so much for coming on. Great luck to you and Slime City, and thanks for the breaking news with Josh Knight. Yeah. Now, let's swing it over to Zach once again to reveal another part of the bracket.
It was a great interview, Joe. Luck, I'll take the luck if we're winning championships. That's all I'm going to say. So we're moving on to the Moravian region, and just a little note here. HGOD, which, as Andrew said earlier, is formerly known as the Future, they are the 4 seed in this bracket. The FH Maroons are an overall 5 seed. We based that off of HGOD's victory over them last year. So just differentiate between that. All right, so we're going to go up to the Maroons game first. Led by all the old Hillers. You know the crew. They're all stickball veterans, but they always come up short in this tournament. So we're going to see what happens this year. The assistant superintendents, led by Tony Silva. His dad's a superintendent in Bethlehem Area School District. That's the name. They have a young core of guys, some baseball players, some just athletes. So that could be a better game than most people anticipate. With that being said, I'm still going with FH Maroons. They have the pedigree. Basic pitches versus HGOD. Basic pitches is captained by Alyssa Conahan. They're the girls' team. They're playing HGOD, which is the Future. As much as we all love the girls' team, this isn't going to be much of a game. So HGOD's moving on. And my sister's part of that team, so that doesn't come easy. All right, so we're going to have the FH Maroons versus HGOD. And this is a rematch from last year, which is great. Gotta love when that happens in this tournament, rematches from the previous year. And Andrew alluded to this earlier. HGOD is coming off a hot streak to end the Fountain Hill Stickball League. Most of that Tomahawk team is on this HGOD squad. So I'm going to go with the hot hand, and we're going to advance HGOD out of the Moravian region. Back to you, Nick and Ryan.
All right, thanks, Zach. Doing a heck of a job over there. As you can see, we are now joined by one of the premier talents in this tournament. He plays shortstop for the HGODs. He's just coming fresh off a Labuda Cup championship with the Tomahawks, Mr. Peyton Bates. Peyton, how you doing?
Good, thanks for having me.
As everybody's already mentioned, you guys are on a hot streak, and you're probably going to end up playing those Maroons. to move on in the tournament. How do you think playing on that Tomahawks team and playing all summer in the Fountain Hill Stickball League helps you against other opponents in this tournament?
You know, I think it really helps out because it gave us some good practice all throughout the year, some tough competition. We know how we have to play to win. We actually played the Maroons last year and beat them, so we're pretty confident going into this.
Yeah, now I want to ask you, the H-Gods are probably one of the youngest teams in this tournament. I don't even know if you guys have anybody over the age of 20. Do you think that will have any effect on your team in this tournament?
You know, I don't think it will. We're pretty experienced, even though we're young. We've all been playing since we're pretty young. We play every year. We compete hard. We want it a lot, you know?
You know, I got to know, and I'm sure everybody else is out there wondering, you've been known for 6 years as H-God, or I'm sorry, as Future, the FH Future. What prompted the name change to H-God?
Yeah, what's that about now?
You know, see, future kind of like implies that it's not our time now. I think it's time to win. So.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
So what does the HF or what does your name stand for? H-God.
We'll be revealing that after the classic.
Okay, after you win.
After you win the classic.
All right. Anyway, I do want to ask you. I think you might have gotten a glimpse at the bracket before some people. What do you see as some of the tough teams in this tournament that could give you a run for your money?
Oh, there's definitely a lot of tough teams in it. Obviously, Salisbury, the defending champs, they gave us a good game last year. They beat us, but I think we'll be all right.
Yeah. And I want to ask you just another question right off the bat. I know there's been some arguments between the Hillers and the Future, or whatever you call your guys, the H-Gods. Are you guys better than the Hillers?
I think if we played them maybe 10 times, we'd beat them 8 out of 10 right now.
Wow. Why do you say that? You guys think you have more overall talent?
Not necessarily just the talent, but we play all year round here. We're all involved in the stickball league. You guys are missing one of your best hitters in Nick Johnson.
Well, I'll tell you what. H-God, I really do think you guys are impressive. You got some of the best young talent in the league. You being one of the, or in the Classic and the league. But Rocco DePaulo really played a strong base, third base, all year in the Fountain Hill Stickball League. Yeah. Is that where you guys are going to put him on next Saturday?
Yeah.
So it's going to be you two on the left side of the infield?
Yes.
But just like the Tomahawks who won that Labuda Cup, so
wow.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, I guess, Payne, again, I'd like to thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
And now we're going to swing it over to Zach to reveal the final region, the Delaware region, where the number overall seed Hillers will see their matchup.
All right, so here we go. We are at the Delaware region. The Hillers are seeded second in this tournament overall, coming off that championship run last year, losing in the finals. The Bush and Buds, for those who don't know, they're the old-timers. We're talking about Mr. Hutchinson, Bullet Spurk, Mr. Shramko. They're out for a good time. They're there all day supporting the cause. It's great. But when this matchup happens, I'm going Hillers. I'm part of that team, just so you guys know. Moving on. Sack Flies is led by Ryan Picala and a bunch of about guys my age. I graduated with some of them. And they're playing Hanover the Trophy, who is led by Austin Redding and Scott Redding, his father. So that game could be one of those other games you want to get out to see. It could be a good game at the start of the day. At the end of the day, I have to pick one. I'm going to go Hanover the Trophy. Hand over the trophy. Hillers versus Hanover the Trophy. The Hillers played them 2 years ago, I believe, and it really just was not a game at all. If there was a whitewash and stickball, that's what would have happened in that game. So I'm going Hillers there. Again, I'm playing on the team. I'm not picking against myself. We're going to go back to Nick and Ryan.
All right, as you guys can see, there's no new guest. Reason being, I got my Hillers guest right here. As I mentioned to open the show, he is a 6-time veteran and a 2-time champion. We're with Ryan Anderson, so we're just going to have a little conversation about the Hillers, see what they can do this year in the tournament.
You know, I think the Hillers, I haven't played stickball all summer. I've been, took a step back this year with the league and just decided to, you know, be a commissioner and help umpire and all that. So I haven't played in a year. So it's going to be a little adjustment, but we have the talent to win it, as we showed 2 years out of the past 6 years.
Yeah, and I want to ask you, Ryan, obviously I won't be there this year.
Well, that's breaking news. I don't think everybody knows that. So.
Well, now we all know I will not be at first base for the Hillers this year. But I do hear you guys have a new recruit. His name is Jeff Ralph. I guess, is he going to play first? He's a new recruit. He used to play, I think, on multiple teams in the Classic. He's a premier talent, a great player.
I think he's probably going to end up at first. You know, he's a really good player. The reason we picked him up, he's marrying into the Redding family. So, you know, it's family, so we'll bring him in.
Guess you got to throw him on the team then.
Absolutely, and he's going to help us. Again, we lost one of the best players again, in this tournament, you carried us a couple of years ago, hitting walk-off grand slams.
All right.
Yeah, you did. Let's face it. So we lost our best player. We still have a lot of great ones. Big Bates comes on, but again, he hasn't played all summer. But 90% of this tournament hasn't played all summer.
So there's been 6 years in the Classic, coming on 7. Only 2 rings. Can you expand on that? Why? What's the problem?
Competition. I mean, we're not the best team every year. You have to be the best team on that day. It doesn't matter what you do in baseball or what you did wherever else. It's what you do next Saturday, August 1st, that's going to make you the team to beat.
You get hot on the first game, and you ride that to the championship. Who knows what could happen? We asked Peyton. There's a lot of pretty good teams this year, whether it's Salisbury, Hanover the Trophy, Maroons, Slime City. Who scares you? As the Hillers.
You know, H-God scares me, but also the FH Maroons.
Wow.
I think that...
Just because they got a little age on you, or what?
No, that's not it. I think that they just had some tough luck the past years. I think they might beat H-God. That's going to be the game of the
H-Gods. H-Gods, like we said, they pulled off the upset last year.
I'll tell you a sleeper team, though. I mean, how about the Dream Team? We didn't talk enough about them. I don't know.
State champions.
Well, that's what we think. I'm
softball.
not sure of it, but rumors have it that this is basically the state championship softball team.
Yeah.
From Bethlehem Catholic.
Zach Agola had them winning in the first game, so they could upset the Salisbury Falcons.
I mean, if they upset the Salisbury Falcons, this is a men's basball district championship team versus a
state champion women's softball team. That's
another big game.
That'll be at 3 o'clock at the Fountain Hill Park. So
everybody be there.
Come there. All right, let's swing it back to Zach. He's going to reveal his final picks, his final 4, all the good stuff everybody's been waiting to see. Zach.
All right, everyone. This is, as Nick said, this is the good stuff. I went chalk with my regional champions. We have the 1 through 4 seeds advancing out of each region. So we're going to move on, and we're going to look at the semifinal matchups. To start off with, I'm going to go with the 2 and 3 seeds, the Hillers versus Slime City. Now, these 2 teams seem to play every single year. It's like destiny for these 2 teams to meet up in the semifinals. They've had some great games. Sometimes the Hillers come on top, other times the Slime City comes on top. And that's what makes this rivalry great. This year, I already said during this broadcast, I'm not picking against myself, my team, so I have the Hillers advancing to the championship, even with the addition of Josh Snyder. We'll see how that plays out. Now we're going to go on to the other side of the bracket versus Salisbury Falcons and H-God. And this is where I deviate from the chalk picks. I'm still riding with H-God, riding that hot streak. They're going to upset the Salisbury Falcons because Salisbury Falcons have not played not 1 ounce of stickball, to my knowledge, so far this summer. Even though they're all-star baseball players, we're going with H-God, who have been playing all summer long. And then in the finals, I keep telling you guys, I'm not picking against the Hillers. We lost last year. We're not losing 2 times in a row. Mark my words. Back to you, Nick and Ryan.
Oh, surprise, surprise. He went with the Hillers. He says he didn't go chalk, but he went chalk. He went with the 2 Fountain Hill teams. But heck, what are you going to do? It's unbiased. No, it's not. He went with the Hillers. I mean,
what do you? First of all, I mean, great analysis over there by Zach.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been awesome having this feature on the show. Now, Nick, what do you think about that pick, having H-God beat Salisbury?
As much as I love the H-Gods in the future, I mean, they were my teammates all summer on the Tomahawks. I can't see it. I can't see it. I mean, Salisbury has too much talent. Last year, they really proved. I mean, they played us in the championship, and they whooped our butts. I mean, all phases of the game. They don't make errors. They hit the ball. They slap the ball. They don't hit home runs, but they just know how to play the game. And
yeah, they're a great team.
Well.
They're a great team who's played together for years, not only in the Classic, but with baseball. Now, Nick, this is the first year in this tournament's 7-year history that you will not be playing.
Yeah.
Talk about that. How's it feel?
Yeah, it's definitely upsetting. Not just not being able to play, but just the whole atmosphere of the tournament. It's just a great feeling waking up that Saturday morning, having a cup of coffee, and going to the field. You know, seeing everybody, shaking everybody's hand. I mean, winning, of course, is the best feeling, but just being there is a great feeling. I'm gonna miss it.
Absolutely. You know, I couldn't imagine not being around for the Classic. So I'm sure you're gonna be watching from afar.
Yeah.
Again,
is there a live stream for the Classic, or?
I don't think there's going to be a live stream for the Classic.
Folks. We don't have that type of technology yet.
Yeah, so maybe one day, though, who knows? The future is bright for the Fountain Hill Stickball Classic. I think we all believe in that. We all know that. So, again, I want to wish luck to all 17 teams who are coming out to play next Saturday. It's going to be a great day. Nick, do you have any parting comments?
Special thanks to our guests. They did a heck of a job. Andrew, Brad, Joe, Ryan, of course our bracketologist, Zach, did a heck of a job.
Yeah, again, everybody, thanks for coming on. It's been great. I think you left out Peyton. But
Yeah,
everybody,
for that.
Everybody, thanks for coming on, especially all you fans out there watching. Thanks for joining us, and I will see you next
1
Saturday,
week away.
August 1st,
9 a.m.
at Fountain Hill for the 7th Annual Fountain Hill Stickball Classic. Everybody have a great Saturday night.